In Adams County, Ohio, you can find a haunted place called the Wickerham Inn. According to legend, the inn is haunted by a headless ghost. Years ago, people travelling by stagecoach through Adams County would often spend the night in the Wickerham Inn. One man who stayed there was a stagecoach driver. When he retired for the night, he was seen carrying a large bag, and a rumour quickly spread around Adams County that the stagecoach driver was carrying a large sum of money. The next morning, when the driver failed to appear for breakfast, the staff thought it was unusual. His passengers were waiting for him in the lobby and were clearly growing impatient. Eventually, a young boy who worked at the inn was sent to wake the stagecoach driver and bring him downstairs. A few minutes later, the boy came running back down the stairs with a wide-eyed look of terror on his face. He couldn't describe what he had seen, so the owner went up to investigate. What he found was a shocking and terrible scene. The stagecoach driver's room was covered in blood, but the driver himself was nowhere to be found. The staff who worked at the inn couldn't find out what had happened. The police were called, and they assumed the stage driver had been murdered, but they couldn't find his body. A few days later, the young boy who worked at the inn was scrubbing the floor in the room where the stage driver was killed. He looked up and saw a headless man standing over him. The figure was ghostly and transparent and disappeared a few seconds later. Soon, other guests at the inn were reporting seeing the same ghostly apparition. People walking by outside also claimed they spotted a silhouette of a headless man standing in an upstairs window of the inn. The ghost was seen many times over the years, until one day in 1922, when the inn was being remodelled. Some workmen removed a limestone slab from the floor. They pried out the slab and something horrible caught their eye. It was a very old human skeleton, and it was complete, except for one thing: it was missing its skull. The skeleton was given a decent burial in the hopes that the ghost of Adams County would be put to rest, but it was to no avail. It is said that he will continue to haunt the inn until his murderer is discovered.